Episode 18 is here. What's the check down? David, Chandler, what's the check down with Chandler and David? And we're going to start this off before he starts yelling at me for a discussion we had before. Number 18, first one comes to your mind.
Peyton Manning, not even a question.
Okay, good. Thank the
Easily.
goodness. I was gonna find you and get so mad at you today.
Oh yeah. No, I would never forget that. I had that one locked and loaded.
Okay. All right. Well,
you'll never get me on that.
Any other 18s?
That's it. I literally can't think of anyone else.
Okay. Best receiver of all time? Arguably.
Jerry Rice was 20 or 81.
AJ Green.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Moss. And Randy Moss were number 18 for the Raiders.
Wait, no, he didn't. He won 81.
What? No, I thought he wore 18.
81 for sure.
I'm looking 100%. On the website anyways. Actually, let's see. Randy Moss, 18. He wore 84.
84, yeah.
He wore 80. He wore oh my god.
Pats,
this
right?
website, I pull mine from websites. I knew he wore 84. He wore 81 on the Pats. I knew this. Yeah. I couldn't trust his website for one thing. As a Vikings rookie, Randy Moss wore 18 during the preseason. Like, what?
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I can't even pull this. Okay, all right.
I mean, that's fair enough. I was wrong. He did wear it.
Hey, Randall Cobb was another one that wore 18.
He still wears 18, I guess.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else that really. Let's see. I have some teams pulled up that I'm gonna be talking about today. Case Keenum wears 18 now. That means anything. Yeah, 18 is not you would think that 18 would be more of a popular number, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I'm pretty sure it's retired in 2 different franchises. So
I mean, yeah, but yeah, that's fair. Anyways, yeah. So today we're gonna be continuing our top 20 list. We're gonna be talking about teams that we want to root for and teams we don't want to root for. We're gonna be discussing also our playoff 1 through 4 in the AFC. So our top 4 seeds in the AFC, and then some other stuff sprinkled in and out. Other than that, how you doing though?
Doing great. I think the TikToks have been kind of doing well, which makes me pretty happy. Lots of discussions. I love it. So keep that coming. Some of us like it. Some of us are a little bit PO'd about it, but it's all good.
I wouldn't say I'm PO'd at all, to be honest with you. I just think people are, like I told you before, I don't understand the comment, "You don't know ball."
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, that is one of the worst. Like, that's like when people like have that argument for anything. Doesn't matter. Like for NBA, you don't know anything. You don't watch the game. Like, what do you mean? You have nothing to back that. You just say what you're. Miami Dolphins are going to win 12 games, and if you don't think that, you don't know ball. What?
Yeah, to me, that's a crazy take. Like in general, because again, if you think that they're going to win 12 games and there's no way they don't win more than 12, you don't know ball, and you need to check yourself. But I know the people who are talking are either Miami fans or just trolls, which is all good. I mean, hey, either way. Comment, keep commenting, interact with it. I don't care.
I love hate. You know me. Yeah. I started out this crap for the hate.
Yeah.
But
bring the hate. I'm all good with it.
Do you want to start there? Where do you want to start today? Where do you want to guide the show today? Tell me.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll go straight right back to what we were just talking about. We'll get to our stuff. We'll get to our scheduled stuff in a second. We just quick 5 minutes. I need you to tell me what the hate on Lamar is, because I'm not going to argue that Lamar has done anything so far to say that he deserves all of the money. But again, you aren't paying someone for what they've done. You're paying someone for what they're going to do. And if you're telling me that Lamar is not going to eventually get to a point where he is a comfortable passer as well as a running quarterback, maybe less running as he gets older, then I don't know. I can't vibe with that. I can't. That's just all I'll say about that.
I don't disagree with you at all. Before I say whatever I'm going to say, I'm going to make sure I clip this before I put anything out there and people freaking hate on me more than anything, is that Lamar Jackson is a great player. Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback. Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he has certain aspects of him make him a top 5 at all, but he is a top 5 weapon in the NFL. I was discussing it with you earlier. The last 5 years, he was in top 10 rushing 2 of those years. That's crazy as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, his issue when it comes to being a quarterback is his passing. And I know he says he's working on that. Hold on. I know he's working on it. But here's my thing. When the Ravens say they want to pay you and they're trying to pay you, and you're like, oh no, I don't have time to talk about it. I'm focused on football, but you're not at the facility to practice with everyone. What does that mean? And then on top of that, when anyone talks anything about Lamar Jackson on Twitter, it's not even have to be bad. He like shoots off like he's won 3 Super Bowls. He's doing stuff that Tom Brady should say. He's doing stuff that Patrick Mahomes should say. In my opinion, you have an MVP. That's crazy. Second year in the league, you get an MVP. That's insane. Third year, whatever it was, I don't care. But he has no right to act like, honestly, in 2-3 years, I don't know if the projections are going to go up anymore. At what point does he continue to go higher and higher and higher, and his body decline by the time he gets there? That's my thing. And like you're out here, you won an MVP, you had a great season. What did you do the season after that? After MVP season, I thought you were supposed to get better. I thought you were supposed to do well. I mean, you haven't won a playoff game. Like, I get the MVP. Awesome. Amazing. Only 58 players have ever gotten an MVP. You're one of them. You are enshrined into the Canton Hall of Fame just for that. You really are. But one, either show up, take the money they're trying to offer you, but you don't want to listen to them because you don't have an agent. Probably the worst time to not have an agent when you're a top 10 quarterback trying to get a contract. Probably not pay the agent. Not that much money compared to what you want to be making. And really, you haven't done enough in the league to at least get the shots fired like that. That's what I mean. Okay? Before you get in here and say I'm stupid and all that, he has every right to want the money. He has every right to say he's one of the best, but he doesn't have the right to act like he's won every single accolade in the NFL because he hasn't. That's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Go.
So now that I've let you talk,
go.
I just want to ask you 2 questions, okay? If a player is so you give a player like Lamar, you expect him to kind of carry your team. He is the guy. You want him to carry your team. You put no weapons around him. I don't care what anyone says. The Ravens offense, aside from Lamar and Mark Andrews, not very many weapons on that team currently. And then you hamper him with a very bad offensive coordinator. And so you're telling me that those 2 things alone, and with that being said, he's still okay. Okay, my second question is, what if you're for quarterbacks? What measure do you look at the most for a quarterback to tell you if that quarterback is a good or bad quarterback?
Like what do you measure for me?
Yeah. For me,
specific statistics.
Stats.
Yes.
Wise. Yeah.
What do I look at?
Word. Yeah.
I look at. So here's the thing: is
I just want one thing.
It's the thing. You can't look at one thing. I can't say yards because it's bubble. So that's the thing. Okay. I can't say yards. You can't say touchdowns because that again means nothing to me. I've told you before, quarterback stats don't mean anything to me.
Okay, so completion rate does not mean anything to you.
Not always, no. Tua Tagovailoa is more accurate than Patrick Mahomes, remember?
Okay, so then that's fine. They are all in the same pool of like completion rates. So they're all within 60 to 70. Lamar is right underneath Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes last year was 65. Lamar was 64.
Here's this. Okay,
I
I'll
don't.
give you my answer. My answer is in advanced statistics, advanced
Okay.
completions on difficult passes.
Okay. And
Because
I would say that difficult passes, difficult pass wise, Lamar makes a lot of difficult passes because again, his receivers don't separate. He's not getting any separation. And then even when he does get separations, he had Hollywood Brown who had butterfingers who couldn't catch anything. So for me, you penalize Lamar Jackson for throws like that when he is making the throws. His receivers aren't catching the ball. And then everyone says, "Oh, Lamar can't throw the ball. Lamar
I don't
can't do
disagree
this."
with you here. I'm not disagreeing.
But okay, I get your case. I get what you were saying. You're saying that he hasn't done enough for him to talk the way he talks. For me, I don't care the way he talks because guess what? If you want to be the guy, you have to act like you are the guy already. So for me, I don't care. And that's one thing I genuinely do not care about. If it was Aaron Rodgers, if it was Tyreek Hill, if it was even Tua, if Tua was talking shit,
we already
care.
went over the Tua. No, because Tua
But I
doesn't
wouldn't
have
care because guess what? If you are gonna talk shit, you got to bring it on the field.
Do you think he will then?
Lamar.
Do you think he will
I think
now,
he will. I think he will.
So what if Lamar doesn't have a good year this year?
Okay, then we rethink everything that he has done, everything that he has said. But up until then, you can't just be like, no, he can't talk his shit. He can talk his shit all he wants. Talk your shit. Talk your shit because then you have to back it up. And genuinely, I think that in this division, Lamar can talk his shit.
Yeah,
and
in this division.
Yeah, exactly.
You think Justin Herbert's going to talk his shit?
The division that he's in, if the Ravens, I think if anything goes wrong this season, it'll be more on the Ravens and the way they've structured their team rather than Lamar. That's what I see. That's how I see it going wrong. Yeah. Personally, it would be because
I could see Lamar imploding though. I could see people catching up to Lamar. I'm saying that I can see people catching up because they understand because there's so many quarterbacks like him now. Like not as electric. No one is on his level, but like we're getting more used to it. Like Joe Burrow can kind of move. We have Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes will even move. Like
you're gonna get so much hate for the Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes.
They can move. I'm not saying they're anywhere near. Yeah. I mean,
they're nowhere near Lamar.
No, not at all. Not at all. Lamar Jackson is a top 10 running back in the NFL.
Yes.
But what I'm saying,
give him his due. Yes.
Yeah, yes.
He's not on my list, by the way. So everyone knows. He's not on my list.
What I'm saying is that when it comes to Lamar, is that I mean, we're seeing more and more of the quarterbacks that are like him starting to come up. Like next year, we're going to have Bryce Young, right? We're going to have those kind of people that have to move around like that have a big arm. So I don't know how much longer it's going to be until like we aren't going to know how to defend this dual threat quarterback. Like Josh Allen is a dual threat quarterback. The only difference between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen is Lamar Jackson is faster, but Josh Allen puts his shoulder down and can put his shoulder down because of how big he is.
Yeah.
So
but that's what I'm saying is that Josh Allen, for him to progress to where he is now, guess what the Bills did? They got him Stephon Diggs. They put Stephon Diggs, one of the best receivers in the game, on his team and said, you guys figure it out. Who's Lamar Jackson, Stephon Diggs? Who?
But here's the thing. Again, people would love to go and play with Josh Allen. People want to go play with Patrick Mahomes.
But how do we know that people don't want to go play with Lamar?
People want to go play with Tua Tagovailoa.
But how do we know they don't want to go play with? They don't want to play with Lamar.
Because yeah, I agree. But listen, okay, I want to tell you right now, I agree with you. But when there's this many outlets, this many people saying no number one receiver wants to go there, it's not just made up stuff. There are certain people you gotta listen to in football. I'm not gonna like say who. There are certain people that if they report it, they're trustworthy enough to go like they're onto something. So if multiple news outlets, and there's like 5 or 6 now that have said like number one receivers don't look at Baltimore because of the offense they run. After a while, when you have 3 quarterbacks on your roster that are all made up as the exact same starting quarterback that can run, it kind of shows what your offensive mentality is. Your backups are Tyler Huntley, and for a while it was RG3. So, like, it shows kind of their mentality of, like, what they want from their quarterbacks. They got to be able to run the ball, and passing isn't necessarily a priority because we stack up on the offensive line, tight ends, and running backs. So I agree with you.
That's fair.
They
That's
do need
fair.
a number one running back or wide receiver, but at the same time, you got to read between the tea leaves a little bit. Tea leaves, sorry.
Okay, and here's where I'm gonna go with this now. Let's just say this is the last thing because we got to move on. But I think that if let's say if no number one receivers want to come to Baltimore, get them a number one running back, because who's his running back?
JK,
because again,
healthy. They did draft when he just got hurt.
Yeah. Okay. So then, exactly. So then, get him in an established running back, or draft a really, really good running back that won't get hurt. Because for me, to put all of the blame on Lamar and say that Lamar is the issue, and it's not the fact that the offense does not scheme receivers to get open. They scheme runs and they scheme screen passes. I watched so many Baltimore Ravens games last year. Every time it's screen this, screen that. Hollywood Brown, go deep. That was all they did.
But I agree. So that's why, as a wide receiver, the reason why Hollywood Brown wanted out was for that reason. He even said he didn't like the offensive scheme. But the reason why they run that offensive scheme is that they don't have a number one. It's like it is a weird circle problem. The reason why we don't do this is because we don't have this, but we don't have this because we don't do this. And it kind of goes around one player.
Yeah, I guess the orbit, the thing that it's orbiting around is Lamar, which fair enough. But again, if you want to run that kind of offense, then you have to give him some weapons, because aside from Mark Andrews, there's not much there.
No, I agree. So here's my thing that they need to do to get out of this issue is that they need to draft their guy, and hopefully that's what they got this year. They drafted their guy. But at the same time is that they need to pick up a second and third receiver. Don't go for top market. We don't need a number one. We need to draft a number one, right? We need to be able to develop a number one. But we do need to draft veterans that are good. Sammy Watkins is not that guy. And come in and actually develop with Lamar. They need to teach Lamar now the nuances, which they probably are. I'm not a scout or a coach in the NFL, but they need to teach him the nuances of great receivers and what they do, and that will help the entire team progress. I agree with you. They don't have the weapons, but again, it's a weird circle is that the reason why the Baltimore Ravens don't have the weapons is because the weapons don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So
that's fair. Hey, I just think certain people should not be allowed to talk about Lamar the way that they do.
The man, all he said was that no number one receiver will go there, and Lamar goes off. Stop doing that, Lamar. It doesn't look
here's
good.
The thing. Here's the thing. I don't care. To me, it's like, why do you need to say that?
You know who does care, though? Do you know who does care?
Who? Lamar Jackson.
No, the owners, the coaches, the players that are like, oh, Lamar says he's all in, but is he really here?
I think he's all in. I don't think that's something you can question.
We'll see this season. That's like I hope I don't really care what the Ravens do. I want the Bengals to win the division. Like you pick for those teams in every division, and truly the Bengals are that one for me. So I hope that the Ravens can do their best with what they have. Other than that, do you want to go through top 20s, or do you want to go into our AFC playoff picture for the first 4?
Let's go AFC real quick.
All right, so we're gonna do like we do with every single division. Your 4th place team going into the AFC playoffs.
I believe I had the Indianapolis Colts.
You had the Colts going in 4th place?
Yeah.
I did too.
I had it. I think I just had it division winners, to be honest.
It is. It is.
I
It's
think
all because it's all division winners. Whoever's winning the
yeah,
divisions. So it's whoever you had as your division winners and where their placement is because that's the top
yeah.
four. So
I think the Colts would be 4.
so why are the Colts 4 though? Just because they are not the best divisional winner?
Basically I think that they're in the worst division in that like pool. I think the AFC, I believe West is just way too strong. And like whoever wins that division will come out first, I believe. Or actually, no. I think whoever wins the AFC North will come out
Well,
first.
we'll get to that. We already know who our divisional winner is.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's
but
no
anyways, yeah,
secrets. But so I
yeah.
had the Colts coming in fourth. The reason I actually is because I had them tied with Tennessee when it comes to head-to-head matchups, but I have them beating Tennessee when it matters and winning the tiebreaker. So I actually had the Colts
Mhm.
going 11-6. I went a little bit deeper. I had the Colts going 11-6 going into the playoffs, which would put them as my 4th seed in the playoffs. So now going from the 4th seed, who would be your 3rd seed? So we have the AFC North, the AFC West, and the AFC East.
I believe I had.
Do I give you
Now I'm
mine?
blanking.
Do I
Huh? Yeah,
give you
give me
mine?
yours.
So
Yeah,
in 3rd in the AFC divisions, I guess 3rd in the seeding, I actually have the Cincinnati Bengals.
I had the Ravens.
You had the
That's what I
Ravens.
had.
I had
Yeah.
12-5 for the Cincinnati Bengals, who is the only 12-5 team in these playoffs. That shows you how good the top 2 teams are. So 12-5 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their roster is very similar to the Colts. I just think they win one game better and they have a better roster. Like you can't like Eli Apple is a shutdown defensive back. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He is the GOAT.
The GOAT. But I mean, they
Yeah.
do have Evan McPherson, who is the GOAT. So, but I have
Hey, they're gonna win some close games this season, I believe.
yep. But yeah, him and Jamar Chase is his breakout year. This is where Jamar Chase puts everyone in their place. Draft Jamar Chase in fantasy. I honestly think that he will actually be good in fantasy.
Okay.
All right,
I think I think the Ravens. I think the Ravens last year, even with all the injuries, managed to still be very competitive and be very competitive in their division. I think with this upcoming year, they will have a better defense. They will have they will have a better offense. I think that because they got rid of Hollywood Brown, they can spread the ball out more throwing. They will still have a really good running game. And I see them and for me, whoever has the best running game and the best defense in this division usually ends up winning the division. And I think that the Ravens will end up having that. And we'll see how it plays out. But for me, I think they will be third in the playoffs. And I think this is where we see Lamar start to kind of push his way into that conversation with the Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, um,
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Yes, Josh Allen.
I mean, they
But
will be
yes,
playing the number 7 seed if that's the case. So if they're in 3rd in the division and they play the number, is it number? Yeah, it'd be number.
no, they play number 5, I
Oh
think, right?
yeah. Never mind. I'm messing this up. Yes. So
Yes, yeah,
if they can't do it, they play number 6. We're both
yeah,
stupid.
number 6, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They play number 6. But yeah, if they can't do it, that's gonna be rough. Like
yeah. That's
like,
fair. Yeah.
legitimately, if he can't beat the number 6 team in the NFL, Allen home
Hey,
field,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. The number 6 seed
it's
could
gonna be the
be
Raiders.
the Raiders.
Yep, the
The,
Chargers,
the Raiders, the Chargers,
the Broncos,
the Broncos.
apparently
Like,
the Dolphins.
yeah, let's just move on from that. But anyways, it could be any of those teams. So I mean, I don't know how much that looks bad for Lamar if he ends up
In
losing
your
to a
case,
team
it could
like
even
that.
be the Bengals.
Yeah, that's also true. It could be the Bengals. I anticipated it being either the Bengals and the Ravens facing each other at some point in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they will end up either you will be right and I will be sixth, or you will be wrong and you will be sixth. You will be wrong and the Bengals will be sixth.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see.
So who's your number 2 in the AFC?
Well, to no one's surprise, my number 2 is going to be the Chiefs. I still think they are a very well built team. I think they drafted really well. I think they are going to be able to develop the guys that they drafted. And I think that Patrick Mahomes will have a really good season, even without his best receiver. And I put that in air quotes as a joke. Like, obviously, he was the best receiver in that offense, but I still think Patrick Mahomes will figure it out. It'll be a different type of offense this year, but I think they will have a better defense as well. And I see them getting second place. And I don't think that's a big stretch, to be quite honest.
I have the Bills coming in second place.
Wow.
So I have the Bills coming in second place, 13-4, with a tiebreaker, whoever comes in first, because they lose to them.
Really?
In the regular season. They go 13-4, but their loss is to the first place team, for me, who's the Chiefs. They both go 13-4, but the Chiefs win the head-to-head game during the season.
Okay.
So the Bills go 13-4, still great, still first place mentality, still great. But again, I think the more games that the Bills play in Buffalo, the better they're off. And I still have them going Super Bowl number 2. You don't need to be number 1 to go Super Bowl. Sometimes that extra game keeps you rolling, and you'll be playing the number 7 seed, so you don't have to worry about anything crazy. And it'll be a cakewalk for them, I feel like. And they'll be going into the playoffs next steps, and I think they're going to do well. Josh Allen, this is his year, MVP caliber year. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis hopefully breaks out. Maybe the run game will actually help them a little bit. I don't rely on it, though, but Sean McDermott is one of the best defensive head coaches in the league. Maybe it's just because he plays in Buffalo and people don't know how to play in Buffalo. It could be that. But,
could be.
I mean, he did hold the Jaguars to 9 points last year, even though the Jaguars won that game. So just to give you an idea of how good he is defensively, he did do that.
Yeah.
But no, Buffalo, this is their year. They are a first place caliber team, but I think they lose to my first place Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say much about Buffalo. You've pretty much said everything that I would have said about Buffalo. I just feel like they're going to be number 1 because, again, I think the Chiefs kind of, again, slip up a little bit, and I think they end up at 12-4. I don't know if they play the Ravens, or 12-5. I don't know if they play the Ravens, but I think they end up still first in their division and end up in second place over the Ravens.
They do play the Ravens, I believe. No, they don't.
Yeah,
they play the Bengals. They play the Bengals, but not the Ravens.
Okay, so I think they slip up a little bit, but and the Bills don't, and that's just how I see it playing out. I still think it's still, again, like, even at first place, I think they make a run, and Josh Allen gets a week to rest and not be beat up going into his first playoff game. I think whoever they play first, they kind of smack around. I think they will go to the Super Bowl this year as well. I think it's going to be between them and the Chiefs again, to be quite honest. But I think that they get one up on the Chiefs, and I think if they play the Chiefs at home, they will beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I believe.
So I'm looking at this. Sorry, I'm just looking at this, and week 6 must be the greatest week of football history coming up this year.
Yeah,
because that's when the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs play. They play at Sunday at 3 p.m. on CBS. Coming off the most electric game of all time.
Why?
And it's not.
Who makes this schedule?
Like, in the week before, on Monday, they play Las Vegas on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
Yeah. And they
Why not switch that game?
And they play Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Saturday Night Football the week before that.
I think it's got to be something to do with travel.
I don't care if it's travel. Why the hell is the number 1 game this year? It is going to be the best game. going to be played at CBS at 3 p.m. That is not like, you know how many people stayed up watching that thriller of a game? Like
Hey,
the best.
I'm still gonna watch it.
I
To be
I get that, but like a Sunday night game, would that not be incredible to watch that on NBC?
it wouldn't be record breaking. I would imagine, but hey, the NFL doesn't like to break records. I guess I don't know.
I know. I don't. Monday Night Football. I mean, ESPN needs some stuff. That is one game I would have thrown all my money on. Amazon
Yep.
Thursday Night Football. Give us this game. I don't care if they're tired. I don't care if they play it on Monday. Put them on Amazon on
It,
Thursday.
yeah, honestly, I don't know what is going on with that, but hey, the NFL and their infinite wisdom, they made
So
that decision.
week 6, Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City. Who's winning that game?
In Kansas City.
In Kansas City at 3 p.m. on a
Kansas City.
Sunday.
Chiefs.
So
Easy.
that is why I have them over Buffalo. That is the only reason why.
I see.
Is because they're
I
going to
get your
game.
point.
Yeah.
I just think that the Chiefs end up slipping up a little bit.
Yeah,
I think they slip up one game because again, and maybe they don't. Maybe you're going to be right on this one, but I think they slip up at least one game.
Yeah.
And the Bills get one up on them.
I agree. They slip up 4 times. They just beat the Bills when it matters.
Fair enough.
All right, so to do our AFC seeds 1 through 4, David, who are your AFC seeds 4 through 1?
Okay, for my AFC seeds for the playoffs, I'm going to go with 4th place, Indianapolis Colts. 3rd place, Baltimore Ravens. 2nd place, Chiefs. And 1st place, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird to look back at our seasons when we're comparing our divisions, and we're very similar on everything except for a couple teams.
Yeah, we really just argued about like the bottom type teams.
Yeah.
Like
who's
first race to the bottom type deal, you know?
So my AFC seeding, 1st through 4th, we're gonna go from the bottom to the top, is Colts in 4th, the Bengals in 3rd, the Bills in 2nd, and the Kansas City Chiefs coming in the 1st seed for the AFC seeding. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Hey, we only disagreed on one.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, I think that's a pretty decent disagreement to have.
Yeah,
so
it's normal. I mean, it's gonna be the 1 and 2 seed like in that division regardless. So
yeah,
I agree with you there. All right, top 20s. So
top 20s.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I'll let you start this week. I started last week.
Okay, so we're going 15 through 11. In 15th place, I have the only sophomore quarterback that I have on this list. I have someone that I truly think is going to have a great year. I think he's going to understand his offense, probably the hardest offense in the league to run. He's going to have a true number 1 receiver for his first time, and it's going to be Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones for the Patriots is going to have a solid year. I think that it has what Mac Jones has is the mentality. And what I've been saying, what a lot of people have been saying, and I said to this before, is that the Patriots have a dynasty built. I'm not saying it's a dynasty, but their team is built like their dynasty, the first dynasty that they had with Tom Brady. Focused on the run game, focus on defense, a quarterback that can run the offense and do really well. And I think Mac Jones exceeded their expectations very quickly. I think that the Patriots were very shocked by how good he was, and that's why Cam Newton was out the door, and Mac is now the starting quarterback. Coming in 14, this one you probably don't like. This is probably like your one, like, get him out of here. But he is someone that is great in the regular season games on 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You can't beat him. Just catch him at prime time in playoffs and you're good. And that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins sneakily has really good years every year. And there are garbage times, but he is the best system quarterback in the NFL. He's not going to lose you games. He's not going to win you games, but he is the best system quarterback in the NFL. And I think matching him up with Kevin O'Connell, who, like, Kirk Cousins is the perfect in between of Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. He is the perfect in between because he has a little bit of skill that Matthew Stafford has. He's a system quarterback of Jared Goff, and that's where you get Kirk Cousins. And I think Kirk Cousins is still a really good quarterback, is still a really accurate quarterback. I think he gets hate on for some of the things that he does. A lot of people don't watch a lot of Vikings games, but he still is a top 15 quarterback in the league. Number 13, this one I think is a perfect position. I don't think you can move this guy around anywhere, and that's Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan is a really good quarterback. He's a former MVP. He still has a great arm. He was just on an abysmal Falcons team. Talk about a guy willing his team to wins that weren't deserved. That's what Matt Ryan did. Matt Ryan absolutely did that the best of his ability. He has a great ball. He knows the sport well. One of the hardest working quarterbacks in the league. He just knows the sport. Going to number 12, I don't know what to think about this quarterback, and that's why I have him here. I think he has top-end talent. I think he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but I also think that he can get frazzled, and I think he can be one of the bottom quarterbacks in the league. And we saw that in his playoff games, but granted, he was hurt all year. Kyler Murray. Again, can run the ball very well. One of the best running quarterbacks in the league. One of the most dynamic players in the league. Can really explode on Sunday, but at the same time can also lose his team a game on Sunday with some of the decision making. Great arm. Can get the ball downfield, which you would not expect for someone of his stature. I don't care if people say, oh, he's not that short. He is short. He is quite short, but he is a baller. And maybe the height and his ability is kind of holding him back. And then 11th, again, a quarterback that coming off injury, I think will help him more because they've already said they want to run him more. And I think running is a big part of his game. I think that he truly has one of the best arms and strength. He is a solid quarterback. I don't have him in my top 10 because the other people ahead of him I think are more established than he is because I still think this quarterback is quite young and people don't realize that, and that's Dak Prescott. Coming off a year of going 2 years ago to his horrific injury, to have the year that he had this year was solid. Was great. Had one of the best offenses in the league. Granted, they had one of the worst defenses in the league. Actually had the best offense in the league with the worst defense in the league. But I think that this will help him this year to prove it that it's not just Amari making great passes, catches. I think having Pollard as a wide receiver will help them a lot as well. I think him being able to run will be able to perform well. And Dak Prescott is one of these guys that can move up possibly top 5 if he has a great year. So far, out of all the lists I've done, I think that he can move up the most, while the other quarterbacks, I think, have the ability to move back out of these 5 guys. So that's where I stand. You don't look pleased. Tell me why you're shitting on my picks.
I honestly, no notes. Okay, one note. That's it. I would switch if this is my list. I would have switched Mac Jones and Cousins. Yeah,
that's fair.
I think to me, because Mac Jones has been in what the same amount of playoff games as Kirk Cousins. I think maybe Kirk Cousins might have a couple more on him.
Well, he made it with did he make it ever with the Washington
with the
Commanders?
Commanders?
He made it 1 year, Commanders. Didn't he?
I honestly that's how forgettable Kirk Cousins has been to me. I don't know. I don't remember.
He has 3 games in the playoffs. 4 games in the playoffs. 4 games in the playoffs.
4 games in the playoffs. How many has he won?
Just 1.
Okay, so he's won. Okay, so you know what? No notes. I think this is just fine. But I do think by the end of the season, Mac Jones will be ahead of not only Kirk Cousins, but Matt Ryan as well.
Yeah. Yes. When I meant by Mac Jones not being able to move up, I think he can move up to top 10, like to 10. I don't think he's going to move up to top 5. I think Dak Prescott can move up to top 5 if he plays well enough. I don't think he is. And I think it is unlikely, but I think he has the ability to move up that high.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, no notes.
Hey, that is
This is a pretty good
surprising. That's a
list.
good list. Oh
This is
my
a pretty
god,
good list to
I did
me.
it! I did it! You're
Yeah,
gonna
like
hate.
if I was grading this list, it's like a B plus, ranging into the A minus. To be honest,
Okay, you're probably gonna hate my
it's
top
pretty
10,
good.
but actually, no,
Yeah,
my top 10, I'm very confident in. I think my top 10 is like,
I honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with the top 10. I will try to be very critical when we get to your top 10, just because I don't want to be nice.
okay, you
I
want to
want to
be
give some notes.
good to know because that's where I'm
So
gonna start right here, watching you.
right, yeah,
Before you get to your
okay,
running backs, I'll do my top five, just to get it out of the
yeah,
way.
yeah. Let's hear it. Let's
All
hear
right,
it
so
for the grant.
my top 20 quarterbacks, this is 15 through 11. I have Mac Jones at 15. I have Kirk Cousins at 14. I have Matt Ryan at 13. I have Kyler Murray at 12. And I have Dak Prescott at number 11. That is my 15 through 11 for quarterbacks. What do you
A
grade it, David?
plus,
B plus?
A B plus, B plus, A minus, A minus.
You
I'm
know what?
feeling generous today.
That's fair, because I
A
know I
minus.
know that I know that there was a GM for a long time. Well, not that long for the Raiders that used to be a draft analyst, and for some reason he got a GM from it. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Mhm.
we move
Yeah.
on.
We move on from that. Okay. So now I guess let me just take a quick sip because I'll probably talk for a bit.
And I will sit and listen as you did for me so politely.
Yes, yes, yes. You can interrupt me. I don't mind interruptions. Okay. For my running back
Him?
top,
You have
huh?
him? You have him at this point?
Sir, you know I have ADHD. You can't do this to me. I got at least start the conversation first. Okay. For my top from my 15 to 11 for top 20 running backs, I'm going to start with Kareem Hunt. This one could be a controversial one for people. But for me, I believe the Cleveland Browns have the top running back group and running back team in the league. The Cleveland Browns do like to run the ball. They will be running the ball a lot this year. I tell you that right now, they will be running the ball a lot. For me, I think Kareem Hunt is just a really good complementary piece to Nick Chubb. And I think that if Nick Chubb wasn't there, Kareem Hunt would still be a great running back. So for me, I see him as number 15 on this list. He could move up. He could surprise us this year and move up, but I think he's in the perfect spot. And I like if I was, drafting a team and I needed a complimentary back to my number one, Kareem Hunt would be the best one, and he is the best complimentary back to a number one back for me.
So, real quick, just because this is now your second backup running back in the list, the other one
Yeah.
was Javonte Williams. Do 12 teams have really bad running backs?
Yeah. Let me start them off. The Texans, the Dolphins,
The
um,
Eagles.
the Eagles, the Giants without Saquon last year. But I'll say I'll leave the Giants off because
Now you
Saquon
don't
was
have the
there.
Jaguars,
I can't say the Jaguars. They have two really good running backs.
but they're not in your top 20.
But they're not in my top 20 because the Jaguars last year was just too dysfunctional for me. But for me, I think actually,
The
if I was to
Seahawks?
do
Seahawks are not in it.
Seahawks are not in it. Their running backs are kind of ass, to be quite honest. Uh, who else isn't on there? The Bear. No, no, not to
We'll stop
spoil
there.
anything.
We'll stop there.
We'll
We'll
leave it
stop
there.
there.
Okay.
So what were you
For
about to
me,
say for James Robinson
number
and the Jaguars?
James Robinson and the Jaguars. I think honorable mentions goes to James Robinson for this list because again, I think he could be top 10. To be quite honest with you, I think on any other team, he's top 10 because they would have treated him properly.
You're such a
But
dick.
because they didn't treat him properly, he's not top 10 right now. We'll see. But
I
again,
should have put
honorable
Lamar
mention
at
to my boy.
21. I should have put Lamar at
Huh?
20. I should have put Lamar at 21.
You should have. You should have.
Team doesn't
But
treat him right.
that would be you. You think you get hate on TikTok now? Oh, people would be angry. Anyways,
14.
number 14, I have Damon Harris of the New England Patriots. I think the Patriots always have a good running game, and he is their number one running back, and he's a really good running back. For me, I think he's a very good, solid number one running back for a team like the Patriots. He's a downhill runner. He's good at pass blocking. He does everything that Bill Belichick needs him to do very well. And if you do everything that Bill Belichick needs you to do very well, I would say you're a very good player.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, number 14 for Damon Harris, not that bad. I think he does get hampered by the fact that they have like 6 running backs that could do do pretty well in his position, but he is the best out of all those 6. For number 13, I've got James Conner. For me, I did not believe in James Conner after his Pittsburgh stint. I did not believe in him. I thought he was garbage, and I was wrong. He's a very good running back, and I think he actually benefits from the fact that now Chase Edmonds isn't in that running game anymore. He's going to get the bulk of the carries. He's going to be helped by the fact that he also has Kyler Murray in that same backfield. I think he's a touchdown machine. In the red zone, he is a touchdown machine. He's kind of Marshawn Lynch-esque in that way. He's nowhere, I don't think. Maybe. But for me, I think he's a very good red zone running back. He does play really well in the pass game as well, actually. And that's something that I think people like, it's kind of sneaky, but he does do really well in the pass game. And I think that for me, I like to look at running backs in 3 different phases of an offense. The run game obviously being the bulk of it, the pass game being the bulk of the next tier over, and then the pass protection game is right there with everything else. And I think everyone that I've talked about so far is great at all 3.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has 18 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, 18 touchdowns. I'm not going to not have him on my list.
Yeah, he's
if
15 rushing Conner, and 3 passing.
If you want to argue James Conner is not a top 20 running back right now in the league, you don't know anything about football, and you need to watch football more.
Do you know what's
Just
crazy?
Gonna put that out there.
Is his story. James Conner's story.
Beat cancer, and is that's just, to me, that's insane already to begin with. And like he did I feel like he had a bad year the year before with Pittsburgh, which again, like, I don't know how cancer works, and I don't know how like everything works in that case. I'm assuming that even if you beat cancer, it's not like you've eradicated your cancer. It'll never come back. You'll never be affected by it. I'm sure it still has some effect on him. But again, he is a professional athlete, so we don't really look at him as a human being. And for me, I think that like just that human being aspect, being such a tough human, and just like battling through what you battled through, for me, he's got to be on my top 20. That's just all I'm going to say.
I agree. 95% catch rate last year.
Again, like I said, he could be higher on this list. I just am still slightly skeptical. My skepticism doesn't just disappear after one season. I got to see it a couple more seasons, or even one more season, and then maybe he'll be in top 10. Number 12 for me is Aaron Jones. And here, I think this one could actually be argued that he should be lower, because he does benefit from the Aaron Rodgers effect, where I don't know how much 8-man boxes you're seeing in Green Bay, because you're not putting 8 men in the box and letting Aaron Rodgers fling the ball around. And that's when you get in trouble. So for me, he does get a little boost from that, but he's still a very talented running back. I'm pretty sure he had like 4 touchdowns in one game one time. And if you have more than 3 touchdowns in a game, for me, you're pretty good. And he's a very solid running back. He's good in the pass game. He's good in the run game. His pass blocking, I think he's pretty good. I haven't seen him make big mistakes in the pass blocking game. And for me, I think because Aaron Rodgers is so good at getting rid of the ball and he's so good at um just making sure keeping the defense honest, I think it's really hard for me to it would be really hard for me to say that I've seen him do a lot of pass blocking that just impress me. But either way, I haven't seen him have glaring mistakes. For me, that's good enough.
Last
And
year
my
was
number
his hold on. Last year was his worst year, but that being said, he still had a 4.7 yards per game. Average
eh,
average per attempt, sorry. 4.7
yeah,
average attempt. That is his second worst. His worst was when he had the 16 touchdown year. But
mhm.
he's average other than those two, 5.5 every other season.
Again, if you're running back averaging 4.525 and above that, anything above 4.5 yards, to me, you're a really good running back because all you need to do is do that twice, and you are putting your offense in second or third and short each time. So for me, that's a really important thing for me. And my number 11 running back here is DeAndre Swift. He, to me, should be top 10. I think he is hampered by the fact that he plays in Detroit. No offense to Detroit. I know the Detroit hate. It feels strong. I believe in Detroit this year. I think they will be better. I think that he is hampered by the fact that he doesn't play with a quarterback that's gonna, you know, stretch the field out for him. His O line is pretty good, actually. I think they do have a really good O line. I think they have some young guys on the O line that will help out. But he does everything well as well. He's good. He's good in the pass game. He's good in the run game. He's a very tough running back. I think you have to be in order to play in Detroit. You have to be a tough guy. For me
You have to be able to
personally,
walk down the street, right?
exactly. You can get smacked anytime in Detroit. That's all I'm gonna say. So for me, I think he is a top 10 guy who just hasn't been able to get there yet. And I think he did have a couple of injuries that
He
did keep
did.
him out of games last year.
Last 2
I think,
years, yeah.
yeah, the last 2 years. So you clean up the injuries a little bit. You don't have those injuries. You stay healthy. I think DeAndre Swift could be up in the top 7 for me personally. I think there are guys who are on their way out of the top 10 who DeAndre Swift can replace. And yeah, that's my top 20 from 15 to 11.
So real quick for DeAndre, he wasn't even the starter last year. Jamal Williams was. So Jamal Williams, granted, DeAndre actually had only 2 less attempts than Jamal did, but his pass game was solid. He was targeted 78 times in the
Yeah.
passing game, on top of 151 carries, 213 touches, averaging 5 yards per touch. So it's solid. It's not bad. I think that's a really good. I think DeAndre could actually have a really good year.
Yeah.
Very interesting player. Georgia player. That's a hard division, hard conference to play in college, and it does get you ready for the next level. And SEC running backs do very well. I mean, we see it, right? Alabama running backs are good. Damian Harris.
Yeah.
You have Derrick Henry. You have people like some of the top running
Alvin
backs.
Kamara.
Yeah. So you gotta be ready for it. Yeah, Alvin Kamara. I hated when Tennessee played the Gators. It was so weird to watch that man. But that's the thing about the SEC is they do produce good running backs, even if it's for a couple of years. Somehow, some way, somehow they stack up and they do
Yep.
well. Leonard
Mm-hmm.
Fournette. I mean, shoot,
Playoff Lenny.
playoff Lenny, except
And
for
he was great.
2017.
He was pretty good in Jacksonville as
People
well.
don't
So
realize how good he was in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
To go against 8 and 9 man boxes because your quarterback was Blake Bortles, which is my comparison later with Tua Tagovailoa, you don't realize how good Leonard Fournette was.
That's a
Anyways, we'll
wow.
get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get into that. I like that though.
15 to 11, David, what is your top 15 to 11 for running backs?
For my 15 to 11 running backs, I've got Kareem Hunt at number 15. I've got Damian. Let me run that
Restart.
back.
You're good. You're good.
Rewind. Chandler, you asked me the question.
David, who's your 15 to 11 in running backs in the NFL?
For my 15 to 11 running backs in the NFL, I've got Kareem Hunt at number 15, Damon Harris at number 14, James Conner at number 13, Aaron Jones at number 12, and DeAndre Swift at number 11.
I like it. I give it an A. I think the only person where I may have an issue with is kind of how high you're on Kareem, just because I think Javonte would have been better to have there.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do think that Josh Jacobs does need a little bit more respect just because of the dysfunction he's had and his time being there. Entire Raiders.
That's another SEC running back, is
Yeah,
it not?
yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. But that's the thing about the Raiders is that they've had so much dysfunction, and people don't really realize how much dysfunction the Raiders have from everything, from like Al Davis even, or but like from the Davis, from Gruden, from Mike Mayock. That's who I was thinking about earlier. Is the scout is the GM. Like there was so much dysfunction, and that's why I'm high on them going into the 2022 season. But
hey, like I said, this list will move around. I guarantee you, not the same guys will be where they are now.
Yep.
But for now, that's just where I have them.
That's fair. All right. So to ask you, going to our next little piece here that we have, teams that you want to succeed in the NFL going into 2022.
Teams that do you want me to give teams or just one team?
One team or multiple teams? I have two. I picked one from the AFC and the NFC for succeed. But who do you want to see succeed this year?
I want to see the Chiefs succeed.
Okay.
I really badly want to see the Chiefs succeed. I know that's like a kind of like an easy one. I think it will happen.
I don't think it is. I think that's actually a different one.
I think that's like, for me, I feel like Patrick Mahomes kind of gets a little bit disrespected for someone who's already won a Super Bowl. I think he gets a little bit disrespected. That's for me. I think that for Tyreek Hill to even say what he said as just being a good teammate to someone else or just trying to get ratings or whatever it is, to me, too much disrespect. I think that Patrick Mahomes, I want him to have such a good year this year. I want him to have a record-breaking year. And obviously, I want the Giants to have a good year. I would love for the Giants to have a good year, but I'm just gonna let that one slide. I don't think that one really counts because they're my team. And then the other team that I would really love to see have a good year for me would be the New England Patriots, because I think that the amount of people who are like, the Patriots suck, the Patriots are trash, blah, 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 blah. And I'm assuming they're like either Bills fans or Dolphins fans or whatever. The amount of people that are just like so.
People actually said that,
oh my God,
that the Jets have a better roster than the Patriots. Where, how, why, what?
Even if that was true, the fact that the Patriots in the last 10 years, going back to 2011, have not been below the 10th place or the 10th ranked defense, total defense in the NFL, to me, mind blowing.
It's the argument,
and they were the second best defense last year. And everyone's just, oh my God.
So the argument that
my brain.
the argument, I'll get to this really quick so I can get to mine. But the argument that people go like, oh yeah, the Patriots were like, Tom Brady was always crutched because they had this defense. He only faced like 8% of his games were when he didn't have a top 10 defense. But like The Patriots don't get the credit.
Yeah,
Only
Tom
Tom Brady
Brady does.
does. I don't.
Yeah,
That's why the whole Tom Brady thing pisses me off, because you argue that like he had the easiest ways to ever win a Super Bowl, but he won 7. Like what? What is the argument? It doesn't make sense. It's
doesn't
either
make
he
sense.
won as a Patriot and won it as a team, or he won it by himself. You can't flip flop, and that's the issue with these stats that people pull out of their ass, and that's why I hate stats. But
Fair
anyways, any other teams you want to see succeed?
enough. Not really.
Okay, Lions. I want to see the Lions
Oh
succeed.
no, the Ravens.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
love for the Ravens to succeed, and yeah, the Lions as well.
I
I'll
want
go
the Lions to succeed. That is my team that I want to succeed. The Lions, because I believe in the team. I don't believe in their quarterback, but I believe in their team. And I want that. I've always liked the Lions for some reason. Probably because I like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
and Megatron.
and now they have Dan Campbell,
right?
So,
And Dan Campbell, I think, is the guy that can turn that franchise around. Matt Patricia didn't. He is back as the Patriots offensive coordinator.
Yep.
The other team I want to see succeed, because for some reason people have no faith in this team as a first-year head coach, is the Raiders. I want to see the Raiders succeed. I
mean, that goes against our succeed or our success. They kind of clash, but hey, I don't mind that.
They can both succeed while being
True.
in the same division. Yeah. And succeed, I mean,
you win,
like
we
playoffs.
Win.
I mean playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Super Bowls, but I'm saying like if they get to the playoffs, I'm happy. So the two teams I want to see succeed this year to make it to the playoffs or just have a good year, whatever a good year means to you, is going to be the Raiders and the Detroit Lions.
I like it.
And what about you?
I like both of those. Huh?
Your two teams to succeed are?
Oh, my two teams that I want to see succeed are the Ravens and the Chiefs. Honorable mention to the Giants as well.
I don't have expectations for the Jaguars. I just don't. But
that's fair.
Who are the teams that you want to see fail, or team that you want to see fail?
Yeah, to be honest with you, this one's a tough one because I do have a buddy on this team, but I do want to see the Cowboys fail. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I hate the Cowboys. I want to see the There's so many teams I want to see fail, but I'm just gonna go with the Cowboys. And then also because I made this wacky prediction at the start of this prediction
no, you're not.
that we were doing.
No, you're not.
The Packers. I want the Packers to fail so badly. I would love to see the demise of the Packers. That would be chef's kiss.
My first one is an easy one. It's the team that I literally don't even call them by their real name 90% of the time. The Cleveland Clowns. I don't want to see succeed.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
They don't need to succeed. They need to have a bad year for everything.
I don't think they will have a good year.
I mean, I want to see the Panthers succeed. That's another. If we're going back, I want to see the Panthers succeed. I want Baker to succeed. I want Baker to.
It would be a fun slap to the face. It would be a really fun slap.
White glove and everything. Honestly, maybe even a helmet off Mason Rudolph to succeed. I don't really know. So, but I want to see them succeed or fail. I want to see the Browns fail. And this team I want to see fail. I want this team to fail, not because the team. I don't care about the team. I hate the fans. These fans are wildin'. They're crazy. They don't make sense. Their arguments are invalid.
Go off.
They just are. What are you thinking? I want the Dolphins to fail. I want the Miami Dolphins to fail because of the fans and because of their trust of thinking that Tua Tagovailoa is Dan Marino. Like, what is this argument that Tua's just going to have a great year? Why is Tua going to have a good year? Why is a quarterback that's never averaged over more than 200 yards going to have a good year? Because you got Tyreek Hill? Okay. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to give him an extra 100 yards a game. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not going to be throwing 300 yards a game next year. It's not going to happen.
Clip this. Everyone on the internet, clip this. Remember, he said it, not me. He said it. I'm not going to make that declaration.
Hey, did you... During 2017, I watched the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we made it to the AFC Championship. And they said on the telecast, and I knew it as soon as I saw it. Going into the second half, or going at the end of the first half, the Patriots punted the ball. We had the ball on the 28-yard line with like 42 seconds left. and we had a timeout. Do you know who our quarterback was?
Blake.
Do you know what we did?
Did you punt the ball?
We need the ball. We knelt down when we were winning the game. We had 40 seconds left in the half, and we knelt the ball. Why? Because we didn't trust our quarterback.
Yeah.
We had the best defense since the 1985 Chicago Bears. Arguably. But truly one of the best defenses of all time. And we lost that game. And you know what we didn't do? We didn't change our quarterback. We trusted our quarterback going in 2018. We got it. We brought the whole team back. We got some new weapons. We're gonna be great. And you know what happened? We went 5-11. Fired our head coach. Released Blake Bortles. Everything fell apart.
Hey, Dolphins fans, Chandler's your friend. He's just trying to save you from the heartbreak. And you guys aren't listening, and you guys are getting mad at him. But he's just trying to help you out. He's been there. Just remember, he's been there.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
The Dolphins, you would think are primed to do great this year. But they have two things against them. Number one, they have a quarterback that is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's not. Tua is not. I'm sorry. Y'all put Teddy Bridgewater on your team as your backup just in case he fails because they know that Teddy Bridgewater will come in and manage games. That's why. They went against tampering rules to get Tom Brady and didn't get him. They tried to get Deshaun Watson and they couldn't get him. Tua is not a starting quarterback, and the Dolphins even know it.
This is very true. You're making points because they've been trying to get rid of Tua.
Oh, but this is his year. This he's going to do it this year. Yeah,
but here's the thing. They said if we can't get rid of him, we will put all the weapons around him, and hopefully he does well.
And truly, Leonard Fournette was the entire offense for the Jaguars, and we had great receivers, DJ Chark, whatever you want to go through. We had great receivers, but I'm sorry, if Tua can't throw the ball 15 yards to the hash, we're screwed. Dolphins, you can't do it. Tyreek Hill is only going to take so many hits, and it's not like people are going to be crowding the box against Miami. They're going to double Tyreek Hill every single play. Why wouldn't you? Who else he's going to throw to? Like Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle and Gesicki, cool. That's nice. I'll really enjoy their 5-yard completions, and then the other ball that sails over their head will be great. They'll get like 3 first downs a half. He doesn't average over 200 yards passing. And
wait, one sec. I'm gonna let you finish your rant. I just have one question: Davis Mills or Tua Tagovailoa?
Davis Mills.
There you go. That's all I needed. Davis Mills, baby. That's all I needed.
Davis Mills won the Texans games last year. I don't think Tua made I'm sorry, he might have had game-winning drives, but Tua, he's been managed. There's a reason why Ryan Fitzpatrick started over Tua. It's because he couldn't run 2-minute offense in the NFL. There's a reason why they brought Josh Rosen in. It's because they didn't trust Tua Tagovailoa. What more do you need as a Dolphins fan to not have trust in your defense isn't that good, my guys. Come on. Let's take a step back. We have Xavier Howard. Okay. We don't have that great of a defense. And your schedule is not great. Do not expect 12 wins.
21st hardest schedule. Just for everyone who strength of schedules wise, 21st. Last year was 27th, and they were 9-8. So,
and they had to win 8 in a row to do that. And they fired their head coach for some reason. They had an 8-game winning streak, which and they're a part of a lawsuit. There's so much dysfunction in this entire thing. I want the Dolphins to fail, not because of the Dolphins and the organization. I want them to fail because your fans are delusional and they want too much. And you need to stop thinking that Tua Tagovailoa is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL because he's not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. That's all I got to say. Slam poetry. Do you have any quarterbacks to question me if they're better than Tua or not?
Okay, so I'll go. Well, I know you're gonna say Mac Jones is, so I'm not gonna go there.
Okay.
Jared Goff.
I know that's where you're gonna start. I would take Jared Goff over Tua.
Okay, sure. Jimmy G.
Yeah. Two team players have been in the Super Bowl.
This is fair.
They won in the playoffs.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I would take Daniel Jones over Tua. Oh
Really?
my God, yeah. How athletic he is. He's more athletic than Tua is.
That's fair.
Mitchell Trubisky, I'd take over. Don't even have to ask me. I'd take Mitchell over
Carson
Tua.
Wentz?
Yes. Carson Wentz made it to the Super Bowl. Obviously hurt, but like he had MVP season that sets
That's
him up for
fair.
it.
Hey, Justin Fields?
Yeah. Justin Fields was already ready to go. I'm sorry.
Jalen?
Jalen Hurts? Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Tua is not a top 32 quarterback in the
Dang.
NFL.
You
Tua
are...
is not a
Wait,
starter.
wait.
I would take him over Drew Lock.
Sam Darnold?
I would take him over Sam Darnold. I don't think it's Sam
What about
Darnold's fault though.
Cam Newton?
I would take Tua over Cam Newton at this point.
Okay.
I would take him over Drew Lock.
What about long neck?
Mike Glennon?
Mike Glennon. What about
I would
Mike
take
Glennon?
Tua over Mike Glennon. You know what? Here's a good one. You know who I would take over Tua to start that team and would actually succeed on that team? Do you want to know who? Gardner Minshew.
Gardner. Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there.
100%.
Wait. Taylor Heineke.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Taylor Heineke's a baller.
Really?
Taylor Heineke's a baller. I don't know what he does. I don't know what Taylor
Your
Heineke...
bias is showing, Chandler. Your bias is showing.
I don't know what Taylor does to make people like cheer and shout, but he does. Like he really does.
You really just hate Tua. I love it though. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is.
But yeah,
It's that Alabama swag that you hate. I know it.
No, it's not.
You hate a lot of Alabama running or quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, also another person that you don't like.
Because Alabama doesn't have good quarterbacks.
This is interesting, but you do like Mac Jones. You do like Mac Jones. I'll give you that.
I would take Mac Jones over Tua Tagovailoa if Mac Jones only had one leg.
I would take Mac Jones over.
I said over one leg.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
I would take that dad bod over the Hawaiian bod any day.
Whoa, what are you talking about? He's skinny now.
I know.
He looks good.
It's like a skinny dad bod though. It's not like a.
I like it though. I like it. He looks good. I think he's gonna have a really good year this year.
Any other? Okay, and this is where I want to get to this really quick. For rookie head coaches, okay, I did some digging. Okay, This is actually really cool stats. So I went over the past 5 years. There have been 24 rookie head coaches. Okay, 6 of them have made the playoffs. 8 of them have had winning records, and 10 of them have been fired within those last 5 years. Okay. As a record, they're 154 wins, 207 losses, and 2 ties. There are 6 rookie head coaches in 2022. Okay. By the math of that, 1 to 2 of them will make the playoffs. 2 of them will have winning records. And 2 to 3 of them will be fired within 5 years. Okay. 43. So don't worry. I have this all written down. It'll be kept. So possibly 2 in the playoffs. It was like 1.5. 2 winning records. 2 to 3 will be fired within 5 years. So we have Matt Eberflus, Brian Daboll, Kevin O'Connell, Mike McDaniel, Nathaniel Hackett, and Dennis Allen. I can see the Saints making playoffs in the NFC. And I could see Kevin O'Connell sneaking into the playoffs as the Vikings.
Yeah, okay.
I don't see Nathaniel Hackett. I don't see Mike McDaniel. I don't see Brian Daboll. And I don't see Matt Eberflus. That being said, 2 to 3 can be fired. I can see Eberflus being fired in Chicago. I could see even Brian Daboll being fired.
I could too, to be quite honest.
And maybe even Nathaniel Hackett if the Broncos don't perform.
I think Mike McDaniel's. I think 9-8 is a good season for a first-year head coach, and that's exactly where I think they'll be.
Yep, and that's good for a first-year head coach. I mean, when I think about when I say there have been 24 rookies and only 8 winning records, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and 2 of those were Sean McVay. And the other one that's actually doing really well. It wasn't Mike Shanahan, but it's just they get fired quickly with no remorse. So, yeah, that's the trends for you. There will be 1 to 2 playoff rookie head coaches. There will be 2 winning records for the rookie coaches, and 2 to 3 will be fired within 5 years. 43, 58, and 1 will be the records of the rookie head coaches this year. And to show you how accurate this is, in 2017 and 2020, 2017 had 3 rookie head coaches. 2020 had 3 rookie head coaches. Both of them had 1 playoff team. Both of them had 1 team that was fired. Both of them had 1 winning record, and they both finished 22 and 26 to show you how accurate these trends are.
Wow. Yeah.
And in 2019 and 2021, they were also very similar. 7 rookie head coaches in 2021 and 6 in 2019. In both seasons, 1 playoff. In 2019, there were 3 fired. In 2021, there were 2 fired. There were 2 winning records in 2021 and 1 winning record in 2019. And in both seasons, they went 38, 58, and 1.
Wow.
So when I say these trends are accurate,
they're accurate.
So that's what to expect from the 2022 rookie head coaches.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Mike McDaniel's going to get fired within 5 years.
Oh, God. I don't think he gets fired. I don't think he's the one to get fired, to be quite honest.
No. Tua gets fired halfway through the season. All right. Hot take. You got a hot take?
No hot takes for me today.
I got one. Fresh off the press. This one is for the Miami fans. Tua Tagovailoa is the next Blake Bortles of the NFL. Take that, Miami fans.
Yeah, suck it, Miami fans.
I got one. If Miami win over 10 games this year, I will shave my head. If Miami Dolphins win 10 games this year, I will shave my head.
Clip it.
I am. I'll post this. Miami Dolphins. If Miami Dolphins win 10
and bring it up.
If Miami Dolphins win 10 games this year, I will shave my head.
You heard it here first.
Actually,
save
let
it
me
on your
change
TikTok.
this. Let me change this because this is actually what I thought about before. Because if the Miami Dolphins win more than 10 games, I will shave my head. So that's 11 games or more.
More than 10 games.
So if they win 11 games or more, I will shave my head for the Miami Dolphins.
Clip it. If you are so confident about this, clip this. Make sure that you remember it. When they win 11 games, we will shave his head. He will have to shave his head. I will keep him honest. The internet never forgets.
That's true.
Don't forget this one.
This podcast was never posted. Anyways, that's it for me.
Delete.
That's it for me and my hair. What's the check down, David, Chandler? What's the check down with Chandler and David? Appreciate you, man. Anything else you got to say?
Nothing.
All right.
Go Fins.
Okay. All right. Anyways, until next week, have a good night, everyone. And I'll see you next time. All right. Peace.